Well, good evening, everyone. Saturday night at Docfest. Welcome. I hope everyone had a delicious meal. Did you have a delicious meal? For that, you can thank the Levantine Grill in Peterborough. They put that together. Remarkable food. Thank you so much. Man, it was very good. That should hold us until our tastiest band in the land, Sandwich Press, hits the food truck about 11 or 11 o'clock this evening. You think you're okay till then, Douglas?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Very good. So it's Saturday night, it's music time, and I can't think of a better way to start Saturday night music time than this young man all the way from Peterborough, Ontario, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. I've had the pleasure of knowing Rick for a very long time. He has a trio that's been around for many a year, and they still do a great annual gig in Peterborough every year.
We do.
You do. His band, Jackson Delta, great band, and Rick's a wonderful player. He's also a music educator. He travels across the country doing blues in schools through the Toronto Blues Society and through various other provincial organizations. Wonderful educator, great writer, wonderful player, and we had lots of fun on stage here this afternoon, blowing the water out of the speakers. So please help me welcome to the Docfest stage Saturday night, my friend, Mr. Rick Fines.
Thanks, Magoo.
You cannot hide love under a Muskoka sky. When the clouds hang low, when the moon is high, with the wind through the trees and the call of the loon. You cannot hide love under a Muskoka moon. There's a spell there that's cast by the lake to the trees, puts a body to rest, sets a mind at ease. But on the heart, it plays out a different tune, and you cannot hide love under a Muskoka moon. You cannot hide love under a Muskoka moon. Stars will fall at your feet, with your feet in the lake. At the end of a dark, at the end of a day. Who's gonna tell you love could ever come too soon, when you cannot hide love under a Muskoka moon. You cannot hide love under a Muskoka moon. Well, I lost my heart under that Muskoka sky, when the clouds hung low and the moon was high, with the winds through the trees, with the call of the loon. You cannot hide love under a Muskoka moon. You cannot hide love under a Muskoka moon. You cannot hide love under a Muskoka moon. Hey, thanks. I thought I'd take us from one end to the other right now. That was from my first solo album, and a long time ago. And this one's from my most recent, and you know, my wife and my daughter are on their way home from Newfoundland right now, and we got ourselves a little place out there about 10 years ago, and been making steady trips out there. And you know, one time when I was writing this song, and all I had was a little instrumental motif, and I didn't know what the song was going to be about. And everywhere we went in Newfoundland, I saw women hanging clothing out on the line, and I knew that was going to be part of the song, but I didn't know what her story was going to be. Well, it turned out to be kind of like this. She left the laundry out on the line when she left that house for the very last time. She only stayed so long 'cause she thought she should live the life everybody always thought she would. When she felt vindicated, she felt clear. She felt any old resentments disappear, and the weight on her heart began to fade. She closed her eyes, the train pulled away. Now so much of life is all uphill. You keep on moving 'cause you can't sit still until just sit still. And she left the laundry out on the line. Well, he wondered and he said that he loves her enough. And how to fill his life with all that other stuff. He thought how he'd thought that he'd wished she'd change. He thought worrying was just her way. Well, he looked again at her favorite chair. There she sat, no longer there. He took her hand and sat by her side. He drew one breath and then he closed his eyes. So much of life is all uphill. You keep on moving 'cause you can't sit still until just sit still. And she left the laundry out on the line. So he grabbed the basket and he went outside. Hey, thanks so much. Now, you know, my wife and I went down about 15 years ago. We went down to Cuba a couple of years in a row. And I don't know if any of the docs at Docfest were involved with it, but at the time there was a thing, I can't remember the name of it, but it was, you're going to Cuba. You don't need to pack clothes. Pack an extra suitcase full of medicine. And so we picked up our suitcase and we went down there and we brought plasma and all sorts of medicines and stuff and brought them down to Cuba. And we thought that was a great thing to do on our little self-indulgent holiday. Well, while we were down there, I saw this Cuban Trez, which is sort of what this is. And I tried to buy one, but you couldn't get a good one. You could only get ones made for the tourists. And they weren't real instruments like the Cuban musicians were playing. So when I got home, I switched an old Yamaha guitar I had into a Cuban Trez, and I played that for a few years. And And then one day I was writing a song with my friend Dennis O'Toole, great Peterborough guitar singer songwriter, really great songwriter, and I used the Trez for a song that he'd come up with the lyrics for and didn't know where the music was going. And he says, "I've got one of those." I said, "One of these little old Yamaha guitars?" He says, "No, Cuban Trez." I said, "Get out of town. Who's got a Cuban Trez in this world?" And, well, Dennis, apparently. So I said, "You mean made in Cuba?" And he said, "No, it's made in Quebec." So this is my Quebecois Cuban Trez, as given to me by my friend Dennis O'Toole. And this song, a few years ago, we lost a lot of our musicians in quick succession. And, there was Buzz and Jan and Don Skuse, whose little shop, Ed's Music Workshop, I spent a lot of time when I was supposed to be in high school in. And so I wrote this song thinking of them. So it's about them all passing away, so it'll be a cheery little number for you. He's got a coffee in his hand, and he shuffles down the street while cars race to the red, rushing the morning beat. Hey, but the sun is picking up steam, and everyone seems so full of purpose, but somehow this whole town's got the blues. Just below the surface, she thinks how the dreams that a young girl sold are impossible to achieve, and how the songs she's always loved now hold more gravity, how people are bound together like letters in cursive, how this whole town's got the blues. Just below the surface, and the sun, it will sing down, and the moon, it will rise up, and even when you see it coming, every ending is abrupt. Oh, but love holds strong, for love can suffer no disservice, and this whole town has got the blues. Just below the surface. Below the surface, it's yesterday, with all the things we still could say, and another act plays below the surface. And so the sun, it will sing down, and the moon, it will rise up, and even when you see it coming, every ending is abrupt. Oh, but love holds strong, for love suffers no disservice, and this whole town has got the blues. Just below the surface. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate that. while I got this on, I'll do another song with it. Any fans of Jesse Winchester here? Yeah. I love Jesse Winchester's music, and this is a song of his. Now, if you love somebody, well, then that means you need somebody. And if you need someone, well, that's what makes you weak. Yes, but if you know you're weak, and you know you need someone, well, oh, it's a funny thing, but that's what makes you strong. Now, that's what makes you strong. That's what gives you power. That's what lets the meek come sit beside the king. That's what lets you smile in your final hour. That's what moves your soul, and that's what makes you sing. And to trust somebody is to be disappointed. It's never what you wanted, and this happens every time. Yes, but if you're the trusting kind, well, this won't even cross your mind. And oh, it's a funny thing, but that's what makes you strong. Now that's what makes you strong. That's what gives you power. That's what lets the meek come sit beside the king. That's what lets us smile in our final hour. That's what moves our souls. That's what makes us sing. Well, that's what makes you strong. That's what gives you power. That's what lets the meek come sit beside the king. That's what lets us smile in our final hour. That's what moves your soul, and that's what makes you sing. Well, that's what moves your soul, and that's what makes you sing. All right, thanks. Jesse Winchester. Woo! I brought 3 guitars, so I'm going to play 3 guitars. All right. I think this, I'm going to slow us right down here and do a song that it started off as a poem from Peterborough poet P.J. Thomas. Now, I knew P.J. many years ago. We used to meet up at the only cafe. She'd be there scribbling in a Hilroy notebook, and I'd be scribbling in a Hilroy notebook. So being a self-absorbed songwriter, I assumed she was writing songs, but she was writing poetry. And I lost touch with her because, as you know, here in Peterborough, you meet people because they're going to Trent University, and you get to know them, and then they finish university and they decide, this is the best place in the world. I'm going to stay here, because they've just left their parents' house and they had freedom for the first time in their life, and they're having the greatest time in the world, so they stay here for just long enough to realize there's no jobs here, I can't afford to stay here, and then they leave. Well, that's what I figured had happened to my friend PJ, and I didn't see her for decades. And then I found her, of all places, on Facebook. And there on Facebook, I sent her a little note. I said, will you be my friend? And we became Facebook friends. And I thought, I wonder where she lives. So I said, where do you live? And she gave me her address, and it was right here in Peterborough. So, so much for my theory. And so then one day I read this poem, and I wrote to her, and I said, you know, PJ, that's a song. And she said, oh, Rick, I'd like that. I love the sentiment that she captures in this. mouse rustling thunders in the forest, while the elephant whispers in the jungle undergrowth. Oh, but the monkey, you ask, she is just swinging. She's swinging and she's laughing, for she's free. Bass smacks the water with a crack of its tail. The great whale glides soundlessly like soup through liquid gels. Oh, but the dolphin, you ask, he is just laughing, swimming upright and backward, and flapping his flippers joyfully, for he is playful. Now a hummingbird buzzes in my ear, while the raucous seagull circles silently. Oh, but the cuckoo bird, you ask, she is just mocking. She's singing and she's rocking. She does not hear any clocks tick-tocking, for she is joyous. Infinite and boundless. Thank you. Well, we decided we ought to write another song together, so I said, well, you know, I put music to your words, so here's this music. I was trying to learn. See, there are a lot of really good banjo players around here today, so I'm going to embarrass myself and show you that I was trying to learn how to play banjo, but I wasn't very good at it, you see. But I saw this guitar sitting in the corner, and I thought I could take that little bit that I'm learning on banjo and try it on my guitar. It might feel more familiar. And so I did this and then handed it off to PJ, and she wrote some words for it. This is called Live Forever. I swim around down in the surf, and the same boats floated by. I was drifting all through my life and hoping to meet you in my time. Well, now I know I live forever the way you look at me from your strong head. You and me were holding together, the lights in the big sky ever met. I rode my bike downtown at night, bright stars lighted up the square. I rode the dark with the social lights, that the stars above even care. Yes, and I know I live forever in the big sky ever met. Tell me now. I ran around this old lonely town looking for a squeeze, and then you love me just like you do, and I'm asking, sugar please. Well, I know I'll live forever the way you look at me from your strong head. You and me, we're holding together, and the lights in the big sky ever met. That's a new part. Hey, thanks. Well, you know, all I have for you today are true stories.
Oh, yeah.
And lies. We all know that we should live every day like it's our last, because sooner or later you'll be right. But also, you know, we only ever have this moment. We only ever have right now. The rest of it's all just an illusion. And that's kind of what this song's about. I wrote it to remind myself. Ordinarily, I don't play this without my band. I'll miss them. But it's called This One Day. And on this particular occasion, it goes precisely like this. Will I have but this one day, and it's free of form? I've got this one day, and I got nothing more. A new start I can direct, just the way I made. I got this one day, an underwater world lies below. I could true love bulb under earth, under the snow. All possibility in each precious moment of life. There's a galaxy of stars hidden in that sunny sky. And I have but this one day, and it's free of form. I got this one day, and I have nothing more. A new start I can direct, just to where I may. I got this one day, so I'm gonna take a guitar solo, why not? Oh, my thoughts drift along like so many snowflakes blown. And I'm peaceful now with so much I know. A million years it took just to get this way. And I got this one day. And I've got peace deep down in my heart. For to have so little is to have a new start. I got love to spare, and I got my life to live, and I have so much more left to give. Yes, I have, but this one day, and it's free of form. I've got this one day, I got nothing more. A new start I can direct, just the way I made. I got this one day. Hey, thanks. You know, I came up here not knowing what songs I'm gonna do, and I kind of like that. I like when that happens, so I just thought of this song, which is from my first solar-powered CD. I just made my second one during the pandemic. They recorded at my little cabin up in the woods, away from everybody, and recorded and mixed with the power of the sun. No hydro lines are involved. But you see, I audited a course at Trent University years ago, a psychology course. And I don't know if I should have, because when I wrote this song, I realized that I needed counseling. See, because of taking that course, I realized that if you write a song for your wife, and only 3 verses in, you're writing about your mother, you should probably talk to somebody about that. We're born into the house of guilt. You've been worried all your time, worried all the time. You've been worried all of your time. And I wish there was some way that I could ease your mind. 'Cause you can barely get yourself to sleep at night over some little thing you said, some little thing that you said, that your worry was misread. Keeps on racing all around and round your head. Yet you always put on your good face, and you never ask for help, no, nothing for yourself. Even in bad health. And you kept your dreams all tucked up on the shelf. You always thought yourself not good enough, and you could never measure up, somehow never quite enough. You thought you never measured up. I wish that I could show you your half full cup. Oh, now please, now don't you worry, you're not misunderstood. Anyone who could would be half as good. So don't you worry, you're not misunderstood. I always saw you as a beacon, shining like the sun. Oh, and always lots of fun. You shine just like the sun. Always a beacon, and always there for everyone. Thank you so much. I got time for a couple of quick songs for you. I'm going to do one here that, anybody else here was flooded out in 2004 in Peterborough? Man, we got flooded out of our house. We had to move up to the cabin. I decided I liked it up there. I like to carry water. I like to chop wood. I tried to convince my wife we should move up there. But she's fussy, Like, she's fussy. Like, she wants central heating and running water. I mean, come on. So I wrote this little song for her. It didn't work at all, but I got a song out of it. Oops, let's see. Well, if you wanna go, I'm good to go. But let's not keep discussing what we already know. Talked it all out a million times before, how this town holds nothing for us anymore. If you wanna leave, I believe we can steal away like a couple of thieves. Give me the word, just say so, and baby, I'm good to go. Yes, if you wanna go, I'm good to go. See, we could live like Henry Thoreau. We'll head out to the woods and watch trees grow. We're gonna shift our gears from fast to slow. If you wanna start new, just us two. There's a whole world of things that we've yet to do. If you learn to fish, baby, I'll learn to sew. Honey, I'm good to go. Yes, if you wanna go, I'm good to go. Let's make haste while the fair winds blow and get ourselves set up in a month or so. We're gonna settle on in before it snows. We might just get by, or we might live the life. We're not gonna know until we try. I feel lucky and I want you to know, baby, I'm good to go.
Thanks. I got time for one more song, and I'm going to do this little number I wrote. You know, I noticed my wife's a school teacher, and I noticed that a number of years ago when the teacher was going to go on strike, I noticed a lot of people complaining about teachers. So I'd ask them, I'd say, what's your problem with teachers? And they'd always start off, grumble, 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 holidays. They got too many holidays. I said, okay, well, shouldn't we all get that many holidays? Just, you know. And then I said, there must be something else. And I'd hear grumble, grumble, grumble. Teacher's pension plan. They got a good pension plan. Well, shouldn't we all have a good pension plan? Must be something else. And if you push them just far enough, they'd break down and they'd tell you. Mrs. Jones, grade 5. You're still holding a grudge from Mrs. Jones in grade 5. I say, man, you're in your 60s. What is wrong with you, man? Mrs. Jones might not even be around anymore. She's probably not around anymore. What are you doing? Like, just, you know, so I thought it made it occur to me, you know, that there are a lot of things in this world worth holding on to and holding close. And there's a bunch of crap out there we ought to let go of. So I wrote this little song.
Larry Jones keeps a chip on his shoulder, and it gets heavier and heavier as he gets older. Let anyone know who will lend him an ear, and it gets a little bit louder with each and every beer. Larry can never let it go. He can never let it go. He can never let it go. Now it's a heavy load. Now Mary Sue never did like school. When you think about it now, she still feels the fool. But she's got a little daughter who's shy to tell the things that she learns. It's a case of once bitten and
twice burned. Mary could never let go. Well, she could never let it go. She could never let it go. Now it's a heavy load. Hey, come on up here and play guitar with me. This is my second guitar player. You gonna play with me? Well, Jerry Rose has no time for his dad, but his heart still aches for the few good times they had. Still he turned it all into anger to shut out the pain, and it comes back to him again and again. He can never let go of the anger. Jerry never let it go. He can never let it go. Now it's a heavy load. Yes, too late we learn. We do it to ourselves. When the things that hurt us are the things that we held, and we never let go. Oh yeah. Thanks so much for having me part of this. I sure appreciate it. I really appreciate you having part of this. And a big hand to Porter's Sound. Bill, John, Nick, thanks so much. Doing a great job. Thank you.
No.